What's up, everybody? We're back again. Today I got on the show Maichael Kindred, a former teammate of mine, actually, and we're going to break down his last fight and give you guys some very, very important information. If you are an amateur fighter, you really, really want to listen up to this podcast because we're going to break down what it's really like to be an amateur fighter and things not go the way you plan. Okay, so first we're going to go ahead and break down his fight. So let's pull up your last fight and break that down. All right, cool. No, let's play it all the way through. Because I got to sync it up with the actual video.
Okay.
Alright, and boom. So while we're waiting on this to start, let's go ahead and give them a little bit of your MMA background. Was this your first fight?
This was my first fight fighting for Cage of Honor. This was first fight back in home in front of my hometown. This was my third amateur fight for a promotion.
So, where did you fight before? What was your record coming into this fight?
3-0.
3-0? Oh, damn, you were undefeated. See, I didn't know this because you had started training with us, and you only trained with us for like, what, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and this was, what day was this?
March 10th.
March the 10th. Yeah, I remember that fight. I fought that night. I won. It was the day before my birthday. This was March the 10th of 2018, right. So almost a full year ago. So you were 3-0 coming into this fight. What did your first 3 fights go like? Any KOs or TKOs, submissions?
No.
You went the distance all 3 fights?
Yeah. I had one choke out the third round.
So before you started coming and training with us, who did you train with at first?
Thomas Campbell in East Prairie, Team SSF.
I don't think I've heard of him.
Cody Cook.
Okay, yeah.
There. I trained with Nate Taylor, Caleb McCutcheon.
Okay, I've heard of him too.
Old school fighters.
Yeah.
From around the boot hill.
And how long did you, out of all the training that you had before you came and trained with us before this fight, like how many months or years did you actually have put in?
Man, I trained off and on since I was 17, but it's hard to put all the years together. I'm 29 now, so I went several years without ever training.
Right.
I've trained for 2 years straight, you know. Never was super dedicated where I trained every day, I'm not gonna lie, but 9 months I've trained straight every day after work. Never really put in a full camp or full 12 hours, days of just MMA. I've always had a job. I always just got to train a few hours at night. So I don't know how you want to rate that. Is it years, hours?
So really broken training.
Yeah.
And what type of training were you actually doing? Like, what arts were you doing? Or was it kind of just MMA?
Yeah, MMA, bro. Everywhere I go, I train and I've trained everywhere from in Nate Taylor's mom's office to Team Quest in Portland, and I didn't train there but for a couple weeks, about a month.
So really broken training.
Yeah.
But still had some training.
Always loved fighting.
Right.
Just never was in a position to make it full time.
Right.
But always, if there's a gym and I got time, I'm gonna hit it and try to learn as much as I can wherever I am.
Right.
And just be present, I never had a career in mixed martial arts. I never looked at it as career.
Right.
I just like fighting.
It's like a hobby.
Yeah.
And so, okay, the fight's about to start, and here's the bell, round 1. So talk us through this. How are you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good. I just want to, you know...
Went for a head kick.
I just wanted to swing, catch my distance. He came in good, got me with 2.
Yeah, he caught you right there with the left. Ooh, you clipped him with the good right.
Yeah. So I just wanted to get a feel for him, you know. Obviously, he's a...
Oh, good right hand. Nice jab. Yeah, you're fighting smart. You weren't just coming in like a bull, trying to actually pick him apart and fill him out.
Oh yeah, it was a good fight, man. Carlos is a great competitor. He caught me there.
Caught that left kick, took you down. That hit was right to the back of the head.
Yeah,
okay.
He does a lot of those. But the ref don't
Couple
catch
shots
it.
to the face.
Back
Couple
of the
to the
head.
back of the head again. You try to get up, he hits you. Those are straight to the back of the head.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that, you know. Those all to the back of the head.
Yeah,
I try to
and
put
it
my head
happens,
down,
you know.
so-
Yeah.
But I don't feel those, you know. It
Right.
might be illegal, but to me, that they don't really hurt me.
So you make your way back up to the. Now you're on your knees.
Yeah.
Now, were you wanting to take him down here, or were you just really trying to get back up?
I just wanted to stand and bang. I hit him with the
Yeah, he's
guillotine.
going for the guillotine.
Yeah.
Ooh, good knee.
And then I reset.
And you got the center of the cage.
Yeah, I always try to push the pace.
I mean, at least you're feigning and using the jab. A lot of people just come in wild, and that's it.
Yeah.
Ooh, you almost clipped him with that overhand.
Yeah, I didn't set it up.
Inside leg kick, he catches it, takes you down again, and straight to half guard, almost mount though.
Yeah, he gets the mount.
Yeah, he gets full mount. You're doing a good job of holding on to his waist. You're trying to bridge and roll.
Yeah, he keeps good posture.
He's landing a couple of little shots to the ribs, but that ain't much.
Nah.
He postures up, lands a couple shots. You roll over, give him your back, not good. And then he's going to town. He's landing a couple. Those two look like they're to the back of the head, but they might have touched the ear. And now you're both on your knees, and you got a hold of one of his legs.
Yeah, I'm trying to just stand back up
This is the end of round one.
without taking too much punishment. He's a beast swinging when he's on top of you.
So did you remember most of all of this, or because I know a lot of times in the heat of the moment we don't remember shit after the fight, really. So that's the end of round one.
My adrenaline went really crazy. I went pumping, jumping, breathing crazy.
Right. So I mean, how was you feeling your cardio and everything?
I was just there. Blue, chill.
Did you get that? Yeah. And this was Jeremy cornering you?
Yeah, Jeremy and Cody Cook.
Okay.
Blue, go sit down. Yeah, Jeremy and Cody Cook, they kind of just stepped in, helped me.
And you said you took this fight on 3 weeks' notice, right?
Yeah, sitting on the couch, I was just chilling, actually drinking beers with my homies, Gage.
Ha! So 3 weeks before the fight, you're chilling, drinking beers, just straight couch potato lifestyle.
Yeah, straight up.
What?
Hey. Go lay down. Cook's giving me the warrior breakdown.
You remember what he was saying to you at all?
Yeah, basically, you know, go kill this motherfucker. Break his motherfucking face. Stop being
Right.
nice.
No technique, just no technique or strategy, just kill.
Well, me and Cook didn't work together at
Right,
all.
so he's just trying to get
We
you
just-
fired up.
Yeah, you know, you're a beast. You know you can.
All right, here we go, round two.
So this is the beginning of the end for me.
So it didn't go all 3 rounds?
No, it
Okay.
ends this round.
Come out, jab.
Yeah, I actually start finding my distance really good in this round. I like this round a lot better.
Carlos McGee looks tired. He looks
Yeah.
drained already.
And that's one thing I was really hoping.
Was you banking on him getting tired?
Yeah, and I'm not tired, and I felt like if I pushed him further deeper into this round or maybe the next round, I could work more offense.
Yeah, he was definitely pretty exhausted right here. But he's still throwing shots still. You got clipped right there.
Yeah, that was this right here. He started smoking me. I threw a lazy uppercut.
But you never stopped moving though. You're still moving.
Oh yeah.
Still trying to evade the punches. He's landing a few of them. A lot of them are missing. And he's tired now. He's tired. Yeah. But he got the better of you right there. Now, how were you feeling really drained right here? Were you rocked? Did you ever get rocked at all?
Yeah, I got rocked. As soon as I threw the uppercut, it didn't hurt. I just got rocked.
Right.
And then after the flurry, the flurry was kind of, oh shit, he just rocked me a couple times. Then I grabbed my nose and I seen blood and I took the center of the cage and I was like, man, I got to strike.
But I see you're pressuring him now.
Yeah.
He's tired.
I try to take the center most of the fight. I'm about to find a couple good ones.
Yeah, if you had the energy to go right here, ooh, that was a good right hand. You could have probably finished him just for the simple fact that he was exhausted right here. And that's typically when you see someone get knocked out, is when they lose their composure from the energy. Ooh, good right hand. But then he picks you up, takes you down. Oh, I seen it. I seen the look on your face when you came down on that. Wow. So,
but
did y'all see that when he got picked up and sat down as he was coming down? Now, how did your knee twist? Did it?
It just, my body went sideways and my leg stayed there. He
Wow.
actually reset my knee when he landed back on my knee. He reset my knee back into place.
Okay, so all right, so that's the end of the fight, and all right, now talk us through what happened after the injury. How were you feeling right afterwards, and then get into what the doctors were telling you the next day, or like just walk us through everything.
All right, so basically, everyone picked me up, hopped out of the cage, did my best to walk out, and first off, big shout out to Carlos and the whole team. They was awesome. He's a great fighter, good competitor, great sportsman. But I didn't know how serious it was. Mm-hmm. So, and they didn't either. And they really can't. With the injury like that, you can't tell until they get an MRI.
Right, you can't just look and
Yeah, so they're just basically, I'm telling them I can't fucking bend my knee, it hurts when I walk on it. And they're like, well, you need to go see the doctor, See the doctor within 7 days so insurance will cover it, So I bet. When do I need to go? They said as long as you go before 7 days, it's fine. Well, my corner, Jeremy Freeman, he said, we're going tonight.
Yeah, I was always told if you don't go that night, the insurance will not cover it.
Yeah.
That's what I was told.
It's 7 days on the paperwork, and the insurance told me it's 7 days through the policy.
Okay.
But Jeremy wanted to make sure I was taken care of. He knew that it was more serious than I knew. He's seen it from the side of the cage. He's seen my leg pop. He knew it was serious. So
yeah, dude, I seen your face, man, and I could see that was painful as soon as it happened.
Yep. And so he basically tells me, you can finish and watch the fights, but after that, you're getting your butt up to the hospital.
Right.
So I was like, all right, bet. So I went out to the crowd, chugged a couple beers because my knee was hurting. Then Carlos and them came up, wanted to get a picture. So I hopped all the way to the back, took a picture with him, hopped all the way back, and I'm feeling good for real. Yeah. I know I didn't go out like no punk. I took the fight on 3 weeks' notice.
Yeah.
I did a lot better than I think people gave me credit or thought that I would do. And the injury was unfortunate. I think that, it could have been prevented with more training and me being in better shape. I felt like I kind of got lazy, and that's why instead of pulling guard on the takedown, I tried to keep standing. He done took me down twice. I didn't want to go back down. I like standing up and fighting.
Right.
So, anyways, popped my knee out. hung out for all the fights, seen the very last fight, because I didn't know the severity, and I'm a tough dude, so
right.
I'm not trying to look like no bitch.
And then with the adrenaline, man, you a lot of time, like you told me earlier on the phone that you really just, like, obviously it was hurting, but you just weren't feeling like, oh, like really, really painful. So, you know, and then also, like you said, you don't want to look like a bitch. So I know a lot of the fighters after they get out of that cage, even when they took a lot of damage, people are saying you might be concussed. They don't want to look like they got hurt really bad, so they'll stick around, or they won't go straight to the hospital. You know, so that's a real issue, man. If you got that cage and anyone is recommending you go to the hospital, you probably should.
Oh yeah. And
so
he wasn't recommending it. He told me, you gotta go. You're gonna get stuck with these bills. And
right. And you stuck around and took pictures with us after the fights. You know, I fought after that. Gavin fought. And then so after the fights, you went straight to the hospital. Yeah.
My girlfriend took me at the time straight to the hospital. I stayed there. There wasn't much they could do. They took an X-ray and they said, you have a fractured kneecap. But actually, that's a pre-existing injury.
Really?
You have had this. So I fought.
That's what they told you?
Yeah, I actually fought with a broken kneecap.
Wow.
A lot of people don't know that, but yeah. I never felt that either.
Right.
But
strange.
That's all that they could tell me. So they sent me home that night.
Okay.
Well, the next morning, I'm like, bro, this ain't right.
Right.
You know, so.
You can feel it, and I'm sure it was swollen. Dude, looking at it now, it's still swollen, and this is a whole year later. Like, your leg is still swollen right now.
Yeah, man.
So
it was
you
like
went back so you woke up and you're like, got to go back to the hospital. What'd you do from there?
I went to the hospital and they pretty much told me that there ain't much more they can do without doing an MRI.
Right.
So I had to set up an appointment with the surgeon. It took like a week, maybe 2 weeks to get the MRI, and then that's when I found out the damage. That, you know, at first everyone's thinking, no, he's walking on it, yada yada, he might have a partial tear, or,
right.
You know, but it's nothing serious, you know. I was thinking that too. Go to the surgeon and he sends me to do my MRI, and you know, come back a few days later, a week or something, and he comes into the room. He's like, "What did you do?" You know, he's like, "I look at you, and you know, I'm looking at him. It's like I'm looking at you. I'm not in no pain. I haven't had no pain medicine, you know." And he's like, "I'm gonna tell you, man, you did major damage to your knee. You tore, forget meniscus, ACL, LCL, everything. All of these."
So what all did you tear? Your ACL?
All 4 of my ligaments.
Okay.
The ACL, the PCL, and the LCL, meniscus or something. I forget which. I'm not a doctor. And I'm just learning all this through these guys.
Right.
But basically the top one, the one underneath your leg, and the side one snapped in half completely. And this one ripped in half and was holding on by a thread.
Man.
So, yeah, completely blew it out, man. That was the worst. It went from, I might just have a partial tear to the worst news you could get, you know.
Right.
So.
Because I've heard of meniscus tears and how bad those are. You know, I've heard of all these different injuries. You know, I've never personally had one, but yeah, it sounds horrible. So you find out all that stuff, and then what do the doctors say you need to do from there?
He tells me I have a choice, you know. When do you want to do surgery? You know, I just had my daughter March 1st. So I talked to him, you know, and basically like, all right, so do I need to get the surgery now? Or what's best for my knee? And he says, you know, it's so bad, your knee's not going nowhere. You know, it's not going to heal on its own, whatever. it might start going together, but we're gonna cut that and resew them. We're gonna have to resew it all back together.
Okay.
So he tells me that it could be up to a year before we even have surgery. It's completely up to me. So I was talking to the promotion and the guys over there and getting everything worked out. And at the beginning, to my knowledge, I thought as long as I seen a doctor in that 7 days, that
you're going to be taking the injury's going to cover it no matter how long.
Yeah.
Right. The procedures may take, or therapy, or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Right.
Just send in the itemized bills attached to your forms, and it's going to be taken care of. So, me being ignorant, I didn't look into the policies or nothing. I just went by that.
Right.
And told the doctor I just had my daughter. So, as much as I hate to, it's not a time right now that if I can avoid it, I don't need to take out. If I can wait till the winter, on my downtime anyway, because I do construction.
You still have to work.
Yeah,
right.
I gotta feed myself and my daughter.
And so, having the procedure, how long would you have been, like, I guess, bedridden?
It all depends. Everyone's different. 4 to 6 months, depending. I feel like I'd have been sooner.
Recovered faster, yeah.
I work myself.
So how are you even managing to get around at all? Like, and especially work, because I know you were trying to, like you said, you were trying to push the procedure back a little bit so you still have some time to work before the season started to slow down. How are you even able to do anything?
I just had to be super careful, man. I'm finishing concrete on one leg, in the mud, dragging concrete with one leg, one arm. I mean,
you have to. I mean, you got a newborn baby, and
yeah, man. It's just you gotta grit your teeth, and hopefully you don't take a wrong step. I did have one accident where I was on an elevated porch 6 feet off the ground, and I was bending over, popping a chalk line, and I wasn't even pouring concrete. This is after it's done, finished, and we're just saw cutting it. And I bend over to pop the line, and a wind gust blew me, and I'm on one leg, and it blew me off. Landed on my leg, and my knees just went, and it it was worse than the initial injury.
Really?
I just had to lay down for like 10 minutes and just regather myself, and that was horrible. Yeah, I worked like that until December, till a few weeks up and right before December.
Dang.
All the way from, I started back. I didn't go to work as soon as after the injury. I waited like a month because we were still on layoff time.
Right.
So I waited till May and then went to work whenever I could. Was a little more used to it, moving around like that. And, I was supposed to be on crutches and wasn't supposed to be out of the bed. And I'm out here doing concrete, and one thing people say is, you're stupid. Why didn't you just get your surgery done at first? Well,
right.
I have a daughter.
Yeah.
To me, she's more important than anything. And I'm going to work and provide for her if I can. So to me, whenever I'm told you have, whatever the doctor says, just follow him. The doctor says you can take this time if you need it. We can have surgery and push it back so you can work and do whatever.
Right.
Then that was the plan, So
I'm confused on why the doctor would even say that, because I'm not a doctor, but when I hear that, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why would a doctor even tell you that?
Well, it's not emergency surgery. It's something that can be held back if it needs to be, I guess.
Okay.
And
so you got to go back to work. You got to provide for your family. Like most of us amateur fighters, and even a lot of the professionals that are just starting off early in their career, they still have to work full time to take care of their family. And so you work up until about December, and then what happens from there? So now is it to a point to where you can't work at all?
No, it never changed. It might have healed up a little, but up until my surgery in December, That's why I quit. Stopped working.
Okay, so December you had your surgery.
Yeah. So up until then, it was the same. My knee was just blew out. If I bent it, it was going to be excruciating pain. If I stepped it on that table, excruciating pain. Like every step is like a pulse in your knee.
Yeah.
You know, and it still is right now during the cover and everything. You know, and yeah, man.
So we talked a lot on the phone about what the promotion will cover as far as the insurance goes, and you know, aside from the actual physical pain you've been going through, we're going to talk about the emotional pain, obviously, too, and the financial pain that you've been going through. Because, and this is very, very important, guys, especially for you, any of you guys that are coaches or amateur fighters, please listen up to this, because, I mean, you may already know this information, but you may not. This is all something that I never really thought about or took into consideration. I've never thought about, oh, you know, what's going to happen if I get hurt? Who's going to pay the hospital bills? I'm young. I never worried about that. And it's like, I've gotten small injuries in fights. Like, one fight, I kicked somebody so much with my foot, it was so swollen, I couldn't work for 2 weeks. It took 2 weeks for the swelling to get down to where I could even walk on it, you know, but I didn't go to the hospital directly afterwards. And so those hospital bills that I actually did go to, I think I had Medicaid at the time, so I didn't have to worry about it. But if I didn't, that would have been a lot of money I had to spend on the hospital bills. So let's talk a little bit about, you know, what it's actually like fighting as an amateur and getting injured and then having to worry about hospital bills.
Man, all right. So for one, every amateur fighter, including myself and yourself, knows the struggle of working and training.
Right. Definitely.
It's two things that are, it's hard to find gyms that co-work with your work. It's hard to find, you know, a lot of times you got to be at class when class starts. Class don't override on you, you know. So sometimes it's even a career switch for kids who want to keep on going, or they got to find different jobs to work their training in.
Yep, I've had to do it many, many times.
Yeah,
there was times where I had to go to class, train for 3 hours. Oh, mind you, I worked out earlier that day too, and then I got to go to class for 3 hours and then get off and go straight to work. I'm not talking about go home, take a shower, get ready for work real quick. I'm talking about go straight from class, straight to work. And I was working the night shift. Bro, that killed me. I couldn't do it. So now I know that whatever job I work is going to be revolving around my actual career. Like, I have to be able to get off of training and then, well, actually, I'm working the night shift now, but my job is really easy. I'm a caregiver, so I can manage. But like when I was working in factories, dude, I couldn't get off and then go to work. You know, I couldn't. So yeah,
and them jobs ain't working with no MMA.
They don't care. Yeah, they don't care.
No,
they don't give two craps about what your actual career and your dreams are. So, okay, so where did I interrupt you at?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm lucky enough. I do concrete for my job, so I never really had to worry about it. I get a good workout doing concrete in the morning, and then come to the gym in the evenings.
Right.
You know, so I'm still making money, still having fun training with my pals at the gym, you know. And to me, training's a lot more than just working hard. It's, you know, you're
it's freaking life.
You're with your brothers, man. It's a family, and, you know, it's so hard to find good gyms around here that actually stay. You guys' gym is doing a great job in Gladiator, and a lot of gyms up in Cape, but Sykeston area, you know, it's
becoming
funding. Yeah. You know, it's hard to keep buildings and funding for gyms to stay open, more or less for us fighters.
Yeah, and it's just like an MMA gym, because you run into a lot of MMA fighters that don't want to actually pay their gym dues.
Exactly, and we got to pay to train.
Yep.
So not only are we, you know, taking a cut out of our employment and all that to do our passion and what we love, you know, but we also have to think about our families and all this other time it's cutting in.
It's hard. It's tough.
And it takes a lot to be an amateur fighter or a pro fighter. I think it's really hard on them both, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of pro fighters, that's their check, you know, and they're not really getting paid that much.
Right.
Amateur fighters only getting paid. Some ain't even getting paid commission. Let's be honest.
Right,
Because
for
they
selling
can't sell
tickets. Yeah.
So
That's very true.
you know.
Yep. So, yeah, getting back to the insurance and how you have to pay for everything. So, to my knowledge, which didn't really have any at all, I knew that I always was my thought on it. Okay, if I get injured in the fight, if I go to the hospital right afterwards, they'll pay for whatever I need done. But that was all I ever thought about it. I never got deeper into even thinking about, well, what happens if I break my leg, and I have to have a procedure, and then the recovery, and then the rehab. I never thought about that and how it would be paid for. Why? Because I've never really had a major injury. And so someone that has had a major injury, that has gone through it, I think it's very important for you to share the knowledge and let everybody know. So, the young fighters, they really need to listen to this and pay attention, because what you told me earlier on the phone today, man, it just really had me thinking, I can't believe this I've never really sat down and thought about this. So, okay, so you had the procedure, and okay, so let's start off by go ahead and let it be known, which everyone knows, we signed a document stating that we are volunteering to fight. No one is liable if we get hurt. Okay, so the fact that they have insurance, that any type of insurance, it is a blessing. Okay, because they don't even have to have that. Well, I think they might have to have some type of insurance. Yeah, they have to have insurance. Okay, but we still, at the same time, we signed papers saying no one is liable but us.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's first and foremost. But all the promotions do have some type of insurance. Now, as a fighter, it's very important that we figure out individually. Your coaches should know too, the promoters should know, but we're the ones getting there fighting. So we need to make sure we acquire the knowledge on our own. Find out, if I get hurt in here, what type of insurance policy do they have? What will be covered and what will not? And then a lot of times you should be weighing those options and deciding if you even want to fight for that promotion or take that specific fight or whatever it may be. So let's talk about what the insurance policy was like kind of for this promotion.
Okay, so first things first, man. Everybody needs to know what they're signing. I went in just like you, man.
Yeah.
Thinking that, hey, I'm going in here fighting, and anything that happens, I'm going to be taken care of.
Right.
Which is true to a point.
Yeah.
You signing, know that you're signing up for, like you said, whatever happens, it's on you.
Right.
You're signing it.
No one else is liable. But
a waiver pretty much saying that promotion, nobody is liable for your injury, which is great. Looking out for themselves, and but you need to know the policies. With me, I thought I've never had bills, hospital bills. Nothing crazy,
Right.
$100,000 to me is something rappers have,
Right.
on TV.
Right.
So,
politicians.
I never put two and two together. I never looked into my insurance policy that I signed. Just because, let's get real, what fighters sign a paperwork, then go look at, they got this insurance. Call them up. Yes, what's your policy?
Call the insurance, ask them what's the policy, what do you cover, what's the deductible.
Yeah.
Dude, a lot of people that get insurance through their jobs don't even, they just say, I gotta have insurance, it's the law, so they just sign and then pay whatever they have to pay weekly, and that's the end of it. And, let's be honest, to someone that is brand new to all of it, insurance policies are kind of complicated, you know? They can get really confusing. Everything beyond the deductible, I'm lost. So I just want to know how much I got to pay if I go to the hospital. All right, just tell me that. So.
Okay, so every promotion is different.
Yeah.
Everyone has a different policy.
Right.
The promotion I fought for at the time, if you want to reveal them, you can. I'm not. I don't have nothing against.
Well, it doesn't really matter because, like you said, all of them are different.
So, the policy that I signed up for was $50,000 policy, which I wasn't aware of. I didn't know there was a limit.
Meaning that the insurance that the promotion had will only cover up to $50,000 of hospital bills.
Yeah. So that's the first thing. Anything that over 50 grand is on you.
It's on you.
Another thing is there's a $5,000 deductible, not a 500.
Like, who's got that? I don't.
Well, extensive medical bills will go towards your deductible. So I was told. They never did mine.
Meaning, what does that mean? You said extensive.
Yeah, super high medical bills. Like, they'll take a certain amount out of each bill and put it towards your deductible. So, which they said. I don't know how it quite works either because it didn't work for me. You know what I mean?
So you had to pay the $5,000 deductible.
Yeah, it was really confusing because at first they told me there was a $500 deductible. And he's like, you want to split it?
Yeah.
And me being ignorant, I'm like, sure. Which I talked to a legal advisor, and legally they're supposed to pay the deductible. So I think
their promotion?
Yeah.
Really?
That's what the legal advisor told me.
Okay.
So, but the thing with my surgery, why the deductible didn't get paid, and why the insurance isn't paying their $50K on the part, because, okay, another point I want to get to before I get too in depth and forget is, you got to know the severity of these bills. Like, my knee, I'm not even finished. I haven't even started rehab because the insurance is denying me, which we'll get into in a little bit. But my bills are excessive of over $100,000.
Right.
For this one, it wasn't even 10 minutes of a fight. Carlos took me down. I landed on my leg wrong. My knee blew out, as we've seen in the video, discussed about. And nobody's fault but my own. I'm going to put that out there too.
Right.
I signed the papers. I got in the fight. I got hurt. But I did go in there thinking, you know, as long as I don't die, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know? And that's my mentality to any fight. You know?
Right.
Any fight I've ever been in, you know? So when I get the call and the people who's talking to me is like, yo, you want to fight? Anything is, you know, they tell me, assure me, anything that happens in there, you're going to be covered for it, bro. You know, everything's good. So I went by that. You know, I didn't think to look it up, which I don't even think the policy holders, the promotion, even knew the policy.
Right, and they might not, because you got to think, one, they got a whole bunch of crap they already got to manage and keep track of. So, and then also another thing, policies change all the time too. You know, insurance changes all the time too. So it's you can't rely on other people for your information. You got to figure it out yourself.
Well, but that's what comes to the third thing about knowing what you're getting into, not the money and the extensive of the bills, because my bills were over double what the insurance cost.
Right.
So even if the insurance did pick it up, I'm still $50K in debt.
$50K.
Over $50K.
Right.
My MRI alone.
And you haven't even started therapy
$30K.
yet.
Yeah, and I can't because insurance isn't helping and I can't pay for it.
Right.
So I'm literally at home every day
trying to do whatever
pushing
you
it
can.
myself
Yeah.
and putting weights on it and stretching it. You can hear it popping.
Yeah, I just heard it pop, yeah.
And, man, so I was under the impression as long as I went to the hospital in 7 days, insurance was covering it.
Right.
Well, that's true, but you gotta know the policy.
Okay.
I didn't even know what a policy was. I'm thinking insurance, you get hurt, you're covered.
You're covered.
That's what I've never had insurance.
Right.
You know, except on a car, and
Right.
which I guess I should have known from liability and full coverage.
Yeah. Right.
Same stuff, but this is your body. But there's only a 26-week period that you have to have all your itemized bills that you want paid for sent in to that insurance company.
Right. For this specific policy.
Yeah, I thought there was no time period at first.
Right.
Later on down the road,
that's what I would have thought too.
About a year later, a couple weeks ago, I find out that
it's too late.
There's a year. No, I was actually told by the promoter there's a year. So it still hasn't been a year yet. To me, I'm thinking I need to get this rehab done, the bill sent in. Well, call the insurance because I'm thinking, man, something isn't right. This guy don't even know his own policies. You know what I mean? I need to call them myself.
Right.
Should have done it a year ago. I just went by what the doctor was saying, what the guy was saying, what everyone was saying. Like I said, I didn't even know what a policy was. I thought I was being covered until I got denied.
Right.
So I called them and they said, no, the fight promotions policy isn't 54 weeks. It's 26 weeks, or 52 weeks. It's 26 weeks. So I had till September to get all my surgery and all the bills in rehab done and the bills sent in. I didn't have my surgery until December because I thought I had a year, at least a year. I thought, well, actually, I didn't know there was a
you
limit.
was long overdue, way past the time frame.
So
and
now,
so do you know if could they have billed you before all this stuff happened, or would they have had to actually do the surgery, do the therapy, all that stuff before the 26 weeks?
I think it all had to be done before 26 weeks, and if it lasted longer, it was on me.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. My recovery is even longer than the policy.
Right.
That means I'm still going to be seeing doctors longer than that.
So no matter
what.
So even if you would have got the surgery the next day, if your recovery would have lasted longer than the 26 weeks, everything done after that 26 weeks would not have been covered at all.
No. And each doctor's visit is almost $1,000 a piece.
Right.
And the rehab is crazy. And
not
to mention, I didn't even get the right paperwork to send off to the insurance people till almost 2 months after the incident. They sent me to the hospital with the wrong paperwork. I gave that to them. They took it, but they're just like, all right, we'll take it. But it never was accepted. Wow. I didn't know. It took me almost 3 months to even get a claim filed because I didn't know what a claim was, because I thought when I signed the paper that was the claim.
Yeah.
Or I guess, I thought when I signed up, boom, that's it. I signed the paperwork. I'm here to fight,
Right.
But no. If you don't know, you need to know.
Gotta know what policies the promotion has that you're fighting for. If you don't and you get injured, you may be in for a very rude awakening.
Yeah.
So you gotta know, guys. And so let's talk about, wow, it just blows my mind because I've been in a lot of fights and something like this could have easily happened to me. This wasn't like you got knocked out or anything. Like, it wasn't like you got slammed and dislocated a freaking shoulder or something. Like, he picked you up and then you just like if you were playing basketball and you went for a layup and come down wrong on your knee. This was this injury happened so easily, so effortlessly. So just thinking like, man, this type of thing could have happened to me and I would have went through the same thing. Why? Because I would have been the dummy that would have been sitting there thinking, I'm good. They're going to take care of me. They got insurance. Yeah. We can't just think that. We got to know what we're getting ourselves into.
Yeah.
So let's talk about let's talk about your mindset. How let's try to break it down month. How has your mindset been month to month starting from March right after the fight?
Man, it's an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. There's been times I've been so happy. You know, thinking, oh, I'm getting surgery, I'm going to be able to walk again. You know, because at first, it's kind of surreal, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, you're going to be out at least a year. It don't really hit you.
No.
You're like...
yeah, whatever. Not even thinking.
Yeah, and then a month into it, 2 months into it, you're like, man, I'm going to be like this for a minute. You know what I mean? Like
and every day just immobile.
Yeah, and you're stuck in your room, you know, and in my case, I'm not supposed to really walk to the kitchen.
Right.
Because any stump, boom, could tear my... I had, like I said, a partial halfway tear on my outside ligament. So they're worried about that tearing in half.
Right.
And then, if that one tears in half, the only thing connecting my leg, that bottom part to the top part, is skin. The ligaments are literally all gone. And that's what holds this stuff together. It stops your leg from going all over the place.
Right.
So, I mean, I studied a lot of psychology during this time because honestly, it's like...
you're going through it.
Yeah, I mean, prisoners even have a cellmate to talk to, you know? People in the, you know, they got a routine. They're up walking around. They go to the yard. They got buddies and...
Unless you're in the hole.
Yeah, and people will do whatever they can not to go there, even the foulest of criminals. This place is like the hole when you can't walk. You know, it's bad enough when you can't drive to the store.
Right.
You don't got a car and you got to walk. It's really bad when you can't walk to the store.
Right.
You know, when you can't walk to the mailbox, when you can't walk to let your dog out, when your daughter's crawling faster than you can move.
Right.
And I'm watching her grow like a weed while I'm stuck, you know? So, I could beat myself up about it all day and get myself in a rut, or think about the positive. Like, I'm going to be walking again. No matter what, I'm going to fix mine. You know, the surgeries happen. So whether I get stuck with all these hundreds and thousands of money or whatever, they don't help me with my rehab. Nobody wants to help me financially with that, because obviously I can't do it.
Right.
I don't got insurance. Then I'm going to do it myself. And that's my mentality. I've sat in there and thought about, you know, man, if it wasn't for my daughter, I wouldn't even want to live. You know,
Right.
I've been to that point. I've been, oh man, I really want to strangle somebody.
Right.
You know, I've been, man, I just really wish I had someone to talk to. I've been, you know, everything you can think of, I've been there. So, but it's not my first time.
Right.
I left Missouri when I was 19 hitchhiking. I've been around this whole country, every state except Alaska, lived in Hawaii. And
What?
yeah, man. A lot of times I was on the road, I was by myself. I lived with Just Blue on a mountain for 3 years by myself. So, I've been there, but I was in a happy spot, you know?
Right.
It's different when you choose to be isolated. And on the mountain skiing, I still had friends, and I was skiing, snowboarding, and taking my dog. So I wasn't alone, you know? I had friends, I had, you know, a girlfriend, I had stuff to do.
So I'm just a little confused and trying to get a picture of like the time, like how many months did you work in 2018 after the injury?
From May to December.
You worked the whole time?
The whole time.
So you managed to get to work and hobble around doing your thing, and then when you come home, see, that makes it even worse because the time you were at work, you could have possibly been out and about, you know, somewhere maybe. But the fact that you had to work was making your knee worse. And then when you got home, you really had to get off of it and stay off of it.
Yeah. Thanks to my daughter's grandma, most the summer last year, you know, that was possible. But even 2 to 3 nights a week, I came home and was daddy, you know. A lot of times I couldn't come home and rest like I needed to.
Right.
So, man, it's a double-edged sword. It was a double-edged sword, you know.
So when you talk about the the isolation, when you talk about not having anybody, what was it like? Where were all these friends? Like, where were all the people before you got injured and stuff? Like, or was it the same, and then it just felt worse because you couldn't get out and about, or
maybe, man, I don't know. If I had a vehicle and was mobile, you know, so I was never at home. I'm always at a buddy's house, always at a friend's.
Right, before the
gym,
injury.
or working, you know, I had a life, you know. I wasn't stuck at the house, you know.
Right.
And like I told you on the phone, man, nobody loves a miserable person. You know, they could love you to death, but they don't want to be around you when they're in a bad spot, you know.
Right.
I don't hate on nobody for that, and I don't like being around negative people. But at this point in my life right now, my joy is my daughter. So,
yeah,
unless you want to hear a lot of stories about her, I ain't had much going on.
Right.
You know, so basically, the people I do see is my close friends or my close family. You know, everyone else has lives, you know, gym, work, kids,
all types of stuff
families.
going on. Yeah.
You know, I'm almost 30 now, so it's almost time. Kicking it days are over anyway.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely. Well, not so much.
I mean, like party.
Well,
you know?
yeah, wasting time.
Yeah.
Because like right now, you know, we're kicking it. You know, we're relaxing, we're
Yeah.
talking, but we're not wasting time.
Yeah.
You know, we're providing a lot of information and knowledge to people that need it. Because even myself, I need to hear all this.
Yeah.
This is part of what I'm involved in. You know, so this is all stuff that I needed to hear as well. And you know, I'm learning a lot just by hearing what happened to you after this injury. And it's just crazy how, you know, everyone's got something going on.
Yeah.
For some people, they got a lot worse things going on than others. But man, things can be really bad for somebody, and the person living with you, right next to you, might not even know. You know, they might not even know what's going on with you on the inside. You know, so that's why I was just like today, you weren't able to drive over to my house 20 minutes away, and I'm like, I gotta come here. Like we gotta get this filmed, and we gotta get this message out there to people, because like this stuff is serious, man. Like people want to just get in there. So let's talk about how when you came and started training with us, we were going around and talking after we got done training, after the session for the first time you came and trained with us, I told you, I was like, dude, you took this fight on 3 weeks notice. You haven't been training. Don't take this fight. Back out now. Get you some training again for, 6 months to a year at least, and then take a fight. I told you. I'm like, look, I know you might think it's, like people might think you're a coward or whatever, but that doesn't matter. You don't need to take this fight. Like, I told you that. I gave you my opinion. I wasn't scared of what you might think about me, or, if you might not like what I had to say. I told you, like, don't take the fight. Take some time to, like you said, you jumped right up off the couch, So, it's important for people to be, all the fighters and the martial artists to be expressing to people. Don't just jump into this cage and fight people if you're not prepared well. You got to be prepared for it, man, because this shit ain't nothing to play with, man. It's easy. You could step the wrong way and blow your knee out.
Yeah.
Like, no one has to even lift you up in the air and sit you back down. You can do it all on your own. It's easy to get injured, and we see it all the time. That's why, like, I always express to every time we get a new person that comes to the dojo and they talk about fighting. Now, rather they would like to fight in the future, or they're like, I already got a fight schedule. I tell them, look, you need to train with us for at least 6 months before you. He wants to be in the podcast too.
Go.
He's like, come on, I got stuff to talk about.
Center of attention.
Yeah. So, yes, like at least 6 months of solid training before you get in that cage, man. You can't just get in there and think, oh, I'm a badass, and I've been in a lot of street fights and this and that, because, well, first and foremost, it's dangerous. That's first and foremost. And secondly, how do you even expect to have fun if you're not prepared? It's not fun. It's not fun. It's no different from playing a basketball game. If you're smoking cigarettes and you're sitting on the couch every day and you're not in good shape and you go play a full court basketball game, are you gonna have fun? No, you're not. You're gonna be feeling miserable. You're gonna be breathing and coughing up a lung, because you're not prepared. So, that's why I'm not scared to express to people the importance of being prepared for fighting. And a lot of people may think, oh, you just think you're the shit. Oh, you think because you know martial arts, you're better at fighting, this and that. Dude, it's just common sense. Get prepared for competition. It's competition. You gotta be prepared. So, there's a lot of messages in this podcast. For one, be prepared. For two, know what you're getting yourself into emotionally, physically, financially, and spiritually. You gotta know these things. You gotta know what you're getting yourself into. And this lifestyle, man, is crazy. It's not like working. It's not like working at McDonald's. This is the real deal. And it may not be a professional fight, but guess what? That person you're getting in there with, he might be training just like a professional. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I train like a professional. So do my teammates. We don't just lollygag when we get to the dojo and don't exercise in our spare time, all that stuff. We train like professionals. So I'm to the point to where I'm not gonna fight any quote unquote bums. I'm not gonna fight someone that's not prepared. It's not gonna be fair for him or for me. Yeah. What happens when I knock this guy out? People are gonna be talking about, look who he fought. I don't even get any credibility from that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? No one's giving me dat for that. So. Yeah. Being prepared for cage fighting is very, very important, man. And then just hearing your story today, I was just like, man, this could have happened to me easily. Yeah. Because I fought many times unprepared.
Yeah. Man, I know so many people that take fights on short notice and that ain't fighting a long time that come back and fight. That's, like myself, and you gotta get that time in, man. No matter how, like you said, no matter how tough you are, tough you think you are, how good your hands are, whatever, you always gotta keep your tools sharp. And it's something that, I didn't think that my opponent was no bum by far, but in my head, I could take down a gorilla.
I'm pretty sure he was undefeated too then.
Yeah, and man, he got his power that most of the people he touched, he knocks them out, and I give him utmost respect, man. I'm glad I didn't fight no bum,
right.
Like you would say, and I didn't get no credit from the loss, but I got credit for showing up after saying I did and showing the heart that I did.
Right.
Like you said, I didn't just get slammed and beat the hell up.
Right.
It was just like going up for a layup and coming down wrong or something. It was just boom, instant. So do I regret it? Do I regret it? No, I don't regret nothing. I had a great night, fun night. Do I regret some of the choices that I made leading up to it and after? Yes. I really wish I'd had my surgery initially, so the insurance would have covered at least their part.
Right.
And and do I wish I would have trained more leading up to the fight? Yes. So I wasn't out of shape, and even though I wasn't feeling too tired, I was in the zone in the moment.
Yeah, and the crazy part is all them freaking heavy punches he was throwing at you, none of those meant anything. I'm not gonna say they didn't mean anything, but that's not what got you hurt. And when he picked you up and slammed you, like, he didn't even get the tape. He only got the takedown because you just landed wrong. That's all. It wasn't like he picked you up and boom. No. When you hit the ground, your foot was just twisted up the wrong way, and it's something just that minor.
Yeah, man.
Rippity tear. Like, it's just crazy how easily you can tear ligaments.
I think he was happy that it was over. I don't think he wanted to.
Oh, he was tired. He was super tired. I know that, but
I didn't want to be in there with him much longer. He pieced me up a couple good times. I'm not gonna stunt, but I wished the fight could have ended because I was curious to see how that third round would go.
Right. Yeah, man. This is and see, this type of stuff happens in training also. Yeah. Like, this could easily happen in training. Yeah. And that's why even when people come to the dojo and start training with us, like, we express to them, look, be careful. Listen to what we're saying to you. Don't come in here trying to knock people out, trying to slam people, trying to get your way. Come in here ready to learn, not ready to fight. Don't come in this dojo ready to fight. You come in the dojo ready to learn. And okay, so like we were doing judo one day. This was like way over a year ago, and my teammate threw me, and he threw me, and as he was walking away, what's up?
Now.
As he was walking away, my hand was out. He stepped on my finger, and literally for about a year, this was the best fist I could make. I couldn't do this. Like, I can now, but it took a lot of therapy. But for the longest, dude, I fought 5 times with a fist like this.
Moose knuckle.
Yeah, I could not make a fist, and I fought like that, which I shouldn't have, because I was actually making it worse. But when I actually went to the hospital eventually and got the little putty ball and started doing the exercise, started doing the therapy, it healed up pretty fast. But that happened in training, so it's easy to get injured doing this, man. This is like super dangerous. It doesn't matter. That's why in judo, first thing you learn is how to fall. Because if I go to throw you and you don't know how to fall, something's going to snap. Yep. That's all there is to it. Something's going to snap. You're going to reach for the ground, your arm's going to snap, or your shoulder's going to snap out of play, dislocate, or you can break a rib. Like, something's going to break, for real. And people just, man, they look at fighting from the outside in, they don't realize what is actually happening in there. They don't realize this.
A lot of people never took a punch.
Right.
Like I said, man, even the GOAT, the walking GOAT, Demetrius Johnson, tore his ACL defending a takedown, slipping an angle.
Right.
And just, man, anything can happen, no matter how tough you are. I mean, Cain Velasquez, how many knee surgeries has that guy had?
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that these stuff happen, but Cain Velasquez is covered by insurance of the UFC, so
right.
He's right back out there. Me, I had other things,
And I bet you their policy probably don't cover as much as the fighters would like. Also, I don't know for sure, but it's not.
Well, he's pro, so he's paid on his off time.
That's
he's
true.
Workers' comp and
that's true.
all that, which I never would ever ask, pay.
But if you get injured, even as a professional, what happens when you get injured? Well, now you can't train the same way. Now it's going to be longer before you can fight again. This lifestyle, man, is hard.
Yeah, man.
It's not easy. And, dude, I don't know the stats, the statistics, but I guarantee you at least 50% of every single fight we watch, someone's going into that cage with an injury already.
Yep.
People going to fights with broken ribs, broken knuckles, broken eyes, like broken nose. People go into fights with all types of injuries, torn muscles, and all this stuff. Why? Because that is how they make their money, and that's how they feed their family. And
that's their passion.
Now let me ask you this: your daughter was born. You said March the 1st, and you fought on March the 10th.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you took the fight before that, so I guess I was going to ask you: the fact that your daughter was about to be born soon, and you knew you had a kid coming into this world, were you thinking, I got to really get the ball going with this MMA?
No, man. MMA has always been a hobby with me.
Okay.
I wasn't even training for a fight whenever I took the fight. I was training the year before.
Okay, right.
Pretty tough. And the year before that, I trained pretty hard too. And but no, I literally had so much time on my hand. It's winter, we're on our layoff time. I'm thinking, man, I definitely don't need to sit around drinking beers all the time.
Right.
Yeah, get me off the couch, get me motivated, sign me up, and something I in my head I knew it'd be good for me,
Yeah.
Martial arts has always been a good release for me. I'm a high-strung person. I wake up 5 in the morning. I'm asleep up till 1, 2 in the morning, and barely sleep.
Dude, that's how I am. I've been sleeping like 3 to 4 hours every night. Even when I have time. Like tonight, I'll probably only I'm going to try to get 6 hours in. Probably will tonight, but I might not. Because I just, dude, I want to stay up because I want to get work done. And then I want to wake up early. Why? Because I got to get the day started. So, but I've noticed as you know, when I'm taking care of my body, eating the right stuff and exercising consistently, which I have been for years now, when I'm really on point, I don't need much sleep. Yeah. And I'm wide awake and ready to go.
Yeah. Man, there's studies saying sleep's great for you, and there's studies saying geniuses don't sleep.
Dude, it's so crazy in this world, man. That's what makes it so hard to decide, to make decisions, because, okay, like this, for instance. You got studies showing that eggs are good for you, to eat eggs, right? And then you got studies showing that eggs are bad for you. Yeah. Okay, you got some fighters that take fights on short notice, and it makes them train harder and makes them ready to go, and then they fight like beasts. But then you got other fighters that they have to have a solid 3-month training camp, otherwise they're gonna fight like crap. So there's always two sides to every story, but you always have what's smart and what's dumb. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, I was really excited, you know, when you started training with us, and we're always excited when we get a new student, you know, and I was just really upset, man, that you got injured like that, because I know you had a lot of potential, a lot of heart, you know, you're already in pretty decent shape, and, you know, we were glad to have you. And then after that injury, I was just like, damn, man, if I could go back, man, I wish I would have been able to talk you out of it. Like, seriously.
I honestly, I've learned a lot, though. You know,
of course,
it's humbled me a lot, to the point where, you know, a year ago, there's not too much you could do to stop me from fighting anybody if they want to fight. Right. And that's just how I was. You know, if we're gonna fight, we can fight. And cage in the street, whatever. I'm never gonna back out, you know. Right. But in that cage, you're going against different killers, you know. You're not going against every average Joe on the street. You're going against someone who's training to take you out.
Yeah, man. You know, it just really fascinates me how people look at cage fighting and like just some regular old street fight. Dude, you have no idea. Like, if you've never even taken a martial arts class, but you think you know something about cage fighting, dude, you don't know nothing. I'm telling you. And it's just way different, dude. Fighting on the street is
fighting on a stage, a platform where there's lights and cameras and people screaming your name and screaming his name. And
what's funny is people will think, oh, well, you know, they think if they get put in that situation, if they signed up for a fight, you know, they're brave, they have courage, and they're not gonna back out. But I promise you this: most of y'all people that think, you know, you're brave enough to get in that cage, you go ahead and set up a fight and watch what happens. A lot of people will back out and won't fight. I've watched people literally get their hands wrapped and then back out because they're too nervous, you know. And it's nothing like you think it is, man. You have to really just get in there to experience it. But it is definitely a thrill. And man, the closest thing I can compare it to is like when you're a kid and you get on a roller coaster. Yeah. How you're really scared, but at the same time you're ready to have fun. And then once you get started, you're really enjoying it. But me personally, I've got to the point now where I don't get nervous. Yeah. I really don't, and I wouldn't lie about it either. Like, I don't get nervous. It
is what it is.
It is what it is. I used to get really nervous, man. I used to be shook. Like, leading up to my fights, I'd be like, man, I'd be super nervous. I could feel it in my body, man. I could feel it all the way down to my fingertips. But now, I feel great, man. Especially like that day of the fight. Oh, man, I feel great. When I'm in the back, I feel my body warming up and getting ready. It's just an amazing feeling. I absolutely love competing. I've wanted to ever since I was like 5 years old. And, you know, now that I'm a man and it's what I'm doing as a career, it's really awesome. Yeah. So now you got to have your therapy. And so what's your recovery going to be like, ideally?
Right now, man, it's just me. I'm looking up YouTube videos. You know what I mean? That's where it's at. I can't keep waiting around, you know?
Yeah, you can't.
it's got to be done. It's got to be fixed, and I got to work it out, you know. And no one's gonna do it but me. So
what type of therapy, like exercise, are you supposed to do? Can you do them at home, or is it something you have to? Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Right now, it's just like my ligaments are so stiff, and everything's so stiff.
That's how it was with my hand. I was just like, what is going on? I'm like, how? I'm like, how can it not? How? I'm like, how can I not make a fist?
Yeah.
It felt like someone took the ligament and took a chunk out of it and then tied it together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it wouldn't go. I'm just like, what in the world? But when they gave me that putty, man, and I did those different exercises with it, slowly started to go down. I'm like, wow, okay, this stuff is working. And yeah, so what type of stuff do you have to do?
Right now, it's a lot of just trying to get it straight. That's one of my main things right now.
Straightening it?
Completely straight.
What about bending it all the way back?
That's a process. I do these little, and you know, we train hard, so this is weird, but I go down about there as far as I can.
That's as far as you can squat?
Yeah, until it starts hurting really bad.
Yeah, that's bad.
And up until a week ago, I couldn't get it no further than that. And now I've worked it almost to a 90. But that hurts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to take you some time. So once you do get it completely healed, though, which we know you will, you know, it's going to take some time. Do you plan on still training and fighting?
Definitely going to train. I'm going to see how the knee goes.
Right.
You know, I just had a daughter. I can't be going through this stuff again, especially with the bills and stuff that's followed. Like, I love fighting, but to me, I'm almost 30. I'm 29 years old. It's not worth it. It's not a great career move for me.
Right.
As a father or as someone looking to start a family, you know.
So if you could go back, would you just not have taken the fight and just trained?
No, I would take the fight. I loved it, man.
I like that you don't have any regrets and you wouldn't take it back.
Yeah, I had a great fight. I would have kept my knees bent.
Right, okay. Right. If I could go back, I would have still fought. I would have kept my knees bent.
Yeah.
Right.
That's all I can say, man. I love it, man. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's a dangerous sport, man, and a lot of you people out there, man, that are thinking about fighting that haven't fought before, man, take heed to what Maichael's saying, because you got this. It's important, man, to be prepared, because just the simplest thing, like you said, if your knees would have been bent, it would have been fine. Yeah. They wouldn't have snapped back, you know. So yeah, if you would have just trained a little bit more, it probably wouldn't have happened. It might have happened, you know, but more than likely it wouldn't have happened, and you would have been more prepared. So a lot of you people that are thinking about fighting, or even people that already have fought before, if you know that you're not prepared properly, you need to reevaluate your training. And any fights you got planned on, any promotions you plan on fighting for soon, you really need to make sure that it's ideal, because if not, you know, these injuries can happen to anybody. They can happen to me. You know what I'm saying? You can train all day, every day for 10 years straight and take a fight and get your freaking face broken in. So, yeah, this is dangerous, man. I mean, at least, luckily, you didn't, like, take an elbow and get your face sliced open. Like, a lot of times, we get our faces busted up and we never look the same again. That's my biggest fear, I think. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather have torn ligaments in my knee than have a freaking gash across my forehead or something. You know, I gotta keep my face pretty, so.
Not me, bro. That gap's been up in a couple weeks, man. This thing is, it's gnarly. Chicks dig scars. I'm just kidding, bro.
I mean, no, they do. They like tattoos, they like scars, they like battle wounds, you know.
Yeah, they do.
So, is there anything else that you really want to express, you know, to the young fighters or people that are possibly thinking about fighting? You know, and there are also a lot of people that are like, they have fighting on their bucket list. They're not fighters, but it's on their bucket list. They're like, I'd like to do that. I'd like to try it once. And I'm just like, I have a friend, I'm not going to mention his name, but he said he wants to just do it one time, you know. I'm just like, no, don't. Maybe if you're fighting someone, okay, if you are, make sure you find an opponent that also is something maybe on their bucket list where they're not properly trained either. Even still, you could get hurt pretty bad, but it's dangerous, man. But, you know, that's life. Life is dangerous.
Yeah, you can walk outside and...
I'm not going to tell somebody, don't go bungee jumping because it's dangerous, you know. Yeah. Enjoy yourself and do fun things. So, yeah, definitely get in there and have fun, but be prepared. Make sure it's a good matchup for you as well. Yeah. You know, that's very important.
That's what I would tell you, man. If you're an amateur fighter, you want to fight, make sure, for one, you get with the team. Doing it solo is not... I mean, there's people who do it.
That's a no-no. Solo, no-no.
Yeah, man. You want a team that looks out for you and your best interest. People that's going to look up for you. People that's been there, experienced in fighting. To look at your opponent, to look at you. People who have wrestled, scrambled with you, sparred. That know your power, know what you can do. And also know what he can do.
Right.
You know? So it's a good matchup. You don't want your first fight to go in there and just get creamed, you know. There's all kinds of people who have the same talent branch. There's people who can't even throw a straight that get in there and fight and get obliterated. Right. There's people who can't throw a straight, get in there and choke someone out, you know. Yeah. So, just, man, make sure you got a good team, some good coaches, and know your policies. Man, if you're not trained to the point where, you know, you train on a regular basis for years straight, that I'm not, you know, which you never know.
You never know. Like, I know, but I never know.
Sweat can cause the mat to get wet for you to slip.
Dude, a lot of the amateur promotions, I don't know about the pros fight on the same cards as those too, but dude, a lot of those mats, bro, they get so slick when sweat gets on them, it's ridiculous. Now, the good mats, even when water hits the mat, it's got a lot of grip. It's got some grit to it, and it makes it easier to actually move around. But a lot of these mats, bro, it's like walking on wet plastic, man. They're very, very slick. So
yeah, I've seen kids go to throw a kick and just
yep.
So yeah, man, just know what you're capable of. Know your opponent, man. And some people say there is no opponent. So that's a double entendre.
Yeah, there is no opponent, but yeah, go ahead and get in that cage and close your eyes and say there's no opponent and watch you get hit right in the mouth.
Exactly.
So yeah, the ideal of there is no opponent is focusing on yourself, you know. But exactly. There is definitely someone standing in the cage with you.
Yeah,
and I ain't talking about the referee.
And their job is to not stop until you are done.
Yeah, we're basically trying to kill each other, and the only person that's going to stop it is the referee. If the referee don't stop it, you can keep going, and legally, you're not going to get in any type of trouble. Like we said earlier, you sign a freaking death waiver. Yeah. Like, no one's going to get in trouble if you get hurt. Nobody. So
remember that.
Yeah, know what you're getting yourself into.
Know your policies, man. Know your opponents. Know yourself. That's the main thing. Know what you can do, what you're capable of, and I think that's the most important. You know, I wasn't fully prepared. I wasn't at my highest potential. I went in there sluggish, you know, and my opponent was game. So
yeah, he was.
And I wasn't expecting it, and he blew the top off that, you know. It was a good fight. I think if 9 times out of 10 that would never happen. Me blowing my knee out, not saying him winning.
Right.
But I feel like that's a great matchup. 9 times out of 10, it's a great fight. Fans loved it. I mean, nobody was stalemate. Someone was pushing forward at all times. There was punches always landing, being thrown, takedowns. It was a good fight, man. I mean, people loved it. We have a lot of friends, me and him. You know, we had a lot of friends watching us. So it was a good fight, man. And
you said actually the chick you was dating at the time was his cousin.
Yeah. Bro, that threw me off, bro, because I'm thinking I'm ready to kill this dude.
Yeah.
And then he comes up to us before the fight, and I'm like, this dude, I'm fighting. And he's like, what's up, Andre? What's up, cuz? And I'm like, oh no, this is your cousin, you know?
That's funny.
I couldn't be like a dick, so I'm like, yo, what's up, bro? You know?
Right.
And then he was a super nice guy, so it threw me off, man.
See, and that's something I'm kind of getting. I've realized too. This is, even though it's a fight, we're martial artists, and this is a martial arts competition. There's no need for all that, you know, F you, and I'm about to kill you, and this and that. You know, have some respect for each other, and get in there and do your thing, you know. So
yeah, man. I peeped his Instagram. I'm the only person he's took a picture with after the fight and gave props to so far.
Really?
On there.
Oh.
So I feel like there's a mutual respect, you know, and he was a great fighter, you know, great sportsmanship, you know, and I'm glad I got to share the cage with him that night.
right. All right, bro. I think we're gonna call it wraps. All right, everybody. I hope y'all got the message, man. This is a real deal. So please take heed to everything we talked about in this, and know what you're getting yourself into, guys. This is MMA. This ain't dancing. All right. Peace.